My name is Irene Victel Heggie. Well, I was born of immigrant parents, of course, and this is where we came. This is where all the Norwegians came. So I was baptized, confirmed, married twice here, and my parents were married by Christian Munson, and I was baptized by him. And the confirmation was with Elias Rasmussen, and he married me the first time, and Kristen Sundt married me the second time when I married John Higgy. First husband was Harvey Victel, another Norwegian, and that's why we were here. And this is just the place to be. This is wonderful, and I'm so glad I'm here.
Oh, I'm John Dolan. I'm almost 91. I was baptized at Minde in 1930 and confirmed at Minde in 1944. The nickname Minde came from my older brothers because I'm sure they couldn't pronounce Mindekirken. They couldn't roll their R's, so it's been Minde ever since all my life. Now, how I wound up at Mindekirken, my parents belonged to Bethlehem Lutheran, which was just maybe 6 blocks away from here. And they moved out to 41st in Lindale in the 20s, out, where there was more room, I suppose. And now, for us to go out to 41st in Lindale would have meant long streetcar rides and all that. And since we only lived maybe half a mile from Minde, my folks joined Minde, although my dad was involved with, creating Mindekirken in the first place. So.
Can you describe a little bit about the Sunday school? You were both in Sunday school here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had John Pearson was the superintendent.
Yeah, he's the one that played the instrument at whatever it was on his lap and plucked away at the at the keys. I don't know what xylophone. I don't know what that instrument was. I never heard the name of it, but I was impressed.
Yeah.
Well, live music in the church.
Yeah, that's right. But we did learn a few songs in Sunday school, but usually we were sitting with our little class, and I mean little class. Gloria and I were the only two in the Sunday school class in our age group.
Okay, and how about you, John? Can you remember your Sunday school class?
Oh yeah, it was for a number of years. It was in the kitchen. I guess all 4 corners of the basement were utilized.
I was in a corner in the kitchen.
Yeah, and my Sunday school teacher, or teachers, I got to sit in their lap. I think there was a shortage of chairs in the kitchen. So I thought that was a good deal.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what I remember of Sunday school, is sitting in the lap of a Sunday school teacher, because we were handed out little cards, pictures of religious pictures of Christ and what, but it was all in the caption was in Norwegian. Mm-hmm. So she'd hand out the cards and then she'd explain what the cards were showing. But
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they. So my Norwegian pretty much stopped at 3 or 4 age level. Sunday school for me was essentially little cards, little pictures, and then an explanation of what the photo was all about. Because it's pretty hard for small children to be dealing in abstractions. If you got a picture or something for them to hold, that will hold their interest.
We had little books, I remember that, but we never were given any memory work, were you?
No,
No. We just came and followed whatever the teacher showed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
But of course we never.
they kind of winged it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
You were confirmed in the church too, right, John?
Yes, in 1944.
Okay, and you as well.
1942.
1942. And how big were your confirmation classes?
2.
Two
Yeah,
as
Gloria
well. And
and
how
I.
about you, John?
I'd say at least 6 or 7.
Okay.
Really? Oh.
Well, they had the pastor's son,
Roland.
Roland, and Vita Storygard from the corner.
Okay.
And
And
there
one of
was
the Bergsets?
We had Bergset and 3 others. So yeah, about 7. So we had a pretty good group,
I should say you did.
and it was during wartime, and a lot of the conversation started out with, what do you hear from your friends and family that are in the service? Unfortunately, there weren't too many people, or too many soldiers from Mindekirken killed, although in the narthex there was a few gold stars up on the wall. So that, you're right on that.
Did you meet in church for your confirmation class?
Yes, we met in the church office.
Oh, yeah, we did that for the first year. But then the second year, I took the 3 streetcars to get out to the parsonage on 4937
Way
Russell
out
Avenue
there.
South.
South.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting too.
They had two confirmation class size held at the pastor's parsonage. Well, one other activity I recall, we called it the Young People's Society, I think. It met on around 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoons. And down in the basement, my dad played the violin, and there was other guitar players and banjos, and it was called the String Band.
The string band, my mother talked about that, yeah.
Oh, and that was really cool to have live music down there. I mean, it
Yeah.
really filled up the basement with.
But that wasn't like a Luther League, it was more young adults.
Yeah, right. It was called Young People's Society.
Yeah.
To me, now I think it was probably more of a date bureau.
Oh.
I mean, you had all these young people from Norway. They could either meet here or outlet Lake Nokomis. There's a point of land that juts out into the lake on the east side. It's called Norwegian Point. And the story I've been told is that on Sundays, the summer, Norwegians all flocked to that point because, they could yak it up in Norwegian and the kids could go and swim.
Oh.
Well, there was, that part of Minneapolis has a big Norwegian
Community, or they always did, yeah.
Well, 'cause they,
South Minneapolis.
the Norse teacher at Roosevelt,
Ben Egan,
he taught Norwegian on
that was Saturday Norwegian
Saturday,
classes.
yeah.
But
right.
there was a little Elin Hammer, do you remember her? She was kind of the founder of that.
Oh, okay.
Can you say a little bit more about this Saturday morning class? Or
Well, we came like around 10 o'clock, didn't we, on Saturday morning? And we didn't really learn to speak the language, but we learned a lot of folk music. And we were
Right.
grade school age, yeah.
And it was a teacher, like you say, from Roosevelt, Ben Egon.
Yeah, he was here at that time.
And
Ellen Hummer, and her husband came sometimes.
well, they tried to keep the Norwegian language alive, because it, my dad's generation, when they came over here, the pattern was to forget your native tongue and speak Norwegian. You know,
Well,
I
your
speak
dad-
English.
So you two, you grew up in the church together. Have you stayed in contact with each other through the church throughout the years?
I suppose that my sister was friend of Irene, so I don't know if you communicated on a regular basis or.
No, off and on, we would, in holidays and so on.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
Yeah,
Because it pretty much when you were confirmed, everybody went their own way.
Right.
There were no activities for young people, like
no, right.
good, well, just a small church. No place to put up a basketball court.
No, for sure. But I stayed on. I sang in the choir from the time I was confirmed until Harvey and I got married. But my dad was also in the choir.
Yeah, my brother was in the choir, and my
So
sister.
Harold and Janet were in
Yeah,
the choir.
yeah.
Yeah.
How big was the choir, Irene, back in the day?
Boy, I don't know.
Oh, I'd say, well, they filled up that corner room. I'd say at least 20.
Did you say how good or how big?
How big?
Oh,
How big?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sure there were 20.
Yeah, because the choir room was down below where the passageway exists right now. That's where the choir hung up their robes.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But,
Yeah, we had Signe Lillejord was the director for many years.
oh, yeah. Yeah, wonderful music in the church. You had a good choir.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Practiced Thursday nights then also, So
So it's always been Thursday nights. Choir
I
has
think
always
so,
been on
as far as
Thursday
I
nights.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, I was.
yeah.
But you were never a member of the choir, John, is that right?
No, I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. And I played the trumpet in high school, so I was never into vocals. I was an instrumentalist at heart, probably from my early days sitting on the organ and
Yeah,
watching all those pedals and levers move. So big band music rather than choir music. So I like symphonies better than operas and that sort of thing.
Yep.
The organist, I forget his name, but I loved him ever since. He would let me sit on the bench with him while he's playing the organ. I was just fascinating seeing how the pedals going and both hands going.
Yeah.
So I've been an organ lover ever since.
well,
Nice.
Ruth Gallagher was the organist for so many years.
Yeah, she took over after that guy left.
Oh, okay.
When you're a kid and you see feet moving and fingers moving
yeah.
and you hear noise,
It's very impressive.
that holds your attention.
What's your favorite holiday at Mindekirken?
It was Easter because some of the kids in Sunday school would bring Easter candy from home, and so we have the extra Easter candy here at the church.
I remember that, yeah. But we always had a Sunday school program. for Easter and Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And those were two special times. And sometimes we said our pieces in Norwegian. And I'll never forget, after one Easter, we had our program, and that was fine. Then we went back to school after Easter vacation. And this teacher wanted to know how we celebrated and what we did. And so several kids got up and gave their pieces. And I got up and gave mine in Norwegian, and she was furious.
Really?
Uh-huh. I'll never forget her. Mrs. Crocker was her name.
Why was she so angry?
It was supposed to be in English.
Oh.
So I remember so well going home that day, and I was just like somebody beat me up. I felt so terrible. And this very Norwegian, aggressive, really nice, but quite aggressive woman was at my house having coffee with my mother. And I came home in tears and was relating all this information. And this lady got up, she said, I'm going over to the school and I'm going to talk to that woman. And I said, oh, please don't, Mrs. Crocker will be so mad at me.
Yep.
And I took a bit to convince her, but I convinced her, please don't do that. But I'll never forget that teacher. I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
So, if that happened in this day and age, it would be a wholly different story.
Yes. Do you think it would be there'd be a better response in the classroom nowadays?
Oh, I would hope so.
Yes, I would hope so too.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
No.
So, yeah.
You mentioned Easter. The one thing I remember about Easter was that song, Påskemorgen,
Slukkersorgen till
Easter morning with Slukkersorgen, what is that, knock off the sorrow?
Yeah, that's right.
However, but boy, the congregation really belted that out.
Yeah, that was
That was the loudest song ever sung that I
well, you
recall.
knew it was Easter when that's, to me, that's Easter singing that song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it.
Christmas and Easter, the ushers did not pass around collection plates. Instead, the congregation walked up behind the altar and put their offerings on the altar.
That's right.
And as a kid, I was just blown away seeing a huge stack of bills and envelopes as I plunked down my dime. Because that was the only time I ever put money in a collection plate. Easter and Christmas.
So do you have any hopes for Mindekirken? What would you like to see for the future for Mindekirken?
Oh, I keep hoping for an influx of younger people who are interested and who want to be here. And, if they just come and find out what a great place it is, they would stay.
Yep.
But we have to have that if it's going to continue.
Yep. John, what about you?
Well, when I think of new churches, they put in everything practically, swimming pools for the young people in the church. I mean, all kinds of that. But this church just didn't have the right mix of young people really to support youth activities.
Oh.
And it's always, the bias has always been towards the older generation. And I can see that continuing. I mean, people have written off Minde for decades, but we're still chugging along.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to shift gears a little bit to have more programming for younger people and that will attract them?
Well, that would certainly be a step in the right direction, but it's the physical facilities.
Right.
I mean, we got a few office rooms there in the addition, but there's, well, I guess that's the problem I have. They're just, you're land bound. You can't keep expanding like some of these suburban churches that just can practically put in the basketball courts.
Oh,
Yeah,
But
but if we would get the right mix,
yeah, that's
we could, this is doable,
yeah.
but that's what we need.
Yeah, well, once you're here, you're never going to leave. I mean, the people are just too friendly.
Well, yeah, this is a very special place,
yes, I would
Yeah.
agree.
and it just, we have to keep it going.